For every swing, every moment, the Milwaukee Brewers fight. It's not just about hitting the ball, it's about leaving a legacy.
Hey, Brew Crew. Welcome back to Brewers Fan Central, your one-stop shop for absolutely everything Milwaukee Brewers. And I bring you the latest information straight from the inside with the analysis you deserve before we get into today's big story. And believe me, it's one that's going to make you stop and think. I need to ask you one thing. If you love the Brewers and want serious, detailed, up-to-the-minute analysis on every move Matt Arnold and the front office make, do yourself a favor, hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on notifications. You're not going to want to miss what's heating up this early in the off-season. Don't wait, subscribe. All right, let's get to it. It's October 27th, 2025, and the market is just starting to simmer. And the piece of information I'm hearing and the one I'm analyzing closely involves a very, very familiar name, a name that, frankly, divided this fan base when he left. I'm talking about Devin Williams, yes, the airbender, our former all-star closer. Sources around the league, and specifically a very sharp analysis from Jim Bowden over at The Athletic, are starting to connect the dots, and the destination, a potential return to Milwaukee. Now, before you jump into the comments, let's break this down with the seriousness it deserves. Let's rewind the tape to the start of the 2025 season. The front office made a move that, at the time, was shocking. We traded Devin Williams in his prime to the New York Yankees. In return, we got veteran starter Nestor Cortez and an infield prospect named Caleb Durbin. Let's be brutally honest. At the time, it felt like we were selling off our best asset. But looking at it now, in late October 2025, that trade looks like one of the biggest heists Matt Arnold has ever pulled off. Nestor Cortez, he barely wore the uniform, making just 2 appearances before vanishing. He was a non factor. But Caleb Durbin, my goodness, Durbin didn't just make his major league debut. He established himself. He is a solid piece of our infield, a player we have under team control for years to come. He was the real hidden gem of that deal. Meanwhile, what happened to Devin Williams in the Bronx? It was an unmitigated disaster for the Yankees. To the surprise of many, he had the worst season of his career. His ERA flirted dangerously close to 5 or so. His BEAR, wins above replacement, was in the negative. He was not the dominant closer we knew in Milwaukee. The Yankees thought they were buying a postseason trump card, and instead they got a liability. Now, Williams is heading to free agency. That mega deal we all assumed he'd get, forget about it. His value has absolutely cratered. And this is where Bowden's analysis comes in. He predicts Williams will have to settle for a prove-it contract, a short-term deal to show he can still pitch. His projection, 1 year, $10 million. And the juiciest part, Bowden listed the Milwaukee Brewers as one of the best team fits for him. My first reaction was, no way, but the more I look at the numbers and the strategy, the more this starts to make sense. Let's analyze the logic of a reunion. Why would the Brewers actually do this? First, let's give credit where it is due. Trevor McGill was phenomenal in 2025. He stepped into the closer role and was lights out. We're talking about a 2.49 ERA over 50 appearances. He was a rock. Megill proved he can be the 9th inning man. But let's look at the bullpen as a whole. In 2025, as a unit, we took a slight step back. Don't get me wrong, we were still good. We finished with the 6th best bullpen ERA in the MLB at 3.63. But do you remember 2024? In 2024, we had the 2nd best bullpen ERA at 3 out of 11. That pen was an impenetrable fortress. What changed? Depth. Injuries hit us down the stretch in 2025, and it became clear that while McGill is great, the group as a whole wasn't as dominant as it once was. Now, picture this scenario. We aren't talking about bringing Williams back to replace McGill. We are talking about adding Williams to McGill. Think about a two-headed monster at the back end of games. Think about having the 2023 version of Devin Williams, 1.83 ERA All-Star, setting up Trevor McGill, or vice versa. Pat Murphy could deploy Williams in the 8th against the heart of the opposing lineup and save McGill for the 9th. This shortens the game. This takes pressure off our starting rotation. This, Brew Crew, is exactly how the Milwaukee Brewers win baseball games. And let's talk about the value. 1 year, $10 million. Is it a risk? Yes, he was bad in New York. But Bowden's report also notes something crucial. Williams finished strong in September and pitched well in the postseason by his standards. His airbender, that devastating changeup, was still there late in the season. If there is one place on the planet where Devin Williams can rebuild his value and get back to all-star form, it is right here in Milwaukee. He knows the system, he knows the coaches, he knows the city. And here is the salt in the wound for the Yankees, which is the part that, as a fan, I just love. We already won the trade. Caleb Durbin is proof of that. If we manage to get Williams back in free agency on a cheap 1-year deal and he returns to even 75% of what he was, we essentially traded Nestor Cortez, a non-factor, for Caleb Durbin and got our all-star closer back after a 1-year hiatus. It would be one of the greatest front office flexes we have seen in a long time. It would be a win-win-win for us and a massive loss for New York. Look, the original trade was already a clear victory for Matt Arnold. We got Durbin, a future piece, for a closer who collapsed. The possibility of bringing Williams back on a prove-it deal isn't just nostalgia. It's a savvy, strategic move. It is a low-risk, financially an extremely high-reward gamble on recreating an elite bullpen for 2026. Question to the fans, but I have to know what you think. What's the verdict, Brew Crew? Should we open the door for Devin Williams to return? Do you believe he can regain his form in Milwaukee and form a lethal 1-2 punch with McGill? Or do you think that $10 million is better spent elsewhere? Drop your comments below. I want to read every single one. And most importantly, if you want this kind of in-depth analysis all off-season long, subscribe to Brewers Fan Central and hit that notification bell. When the news breaks, I'll be here first with the full breakdown. Thanks for watching.